CABULIWALLAH. My 5-year-old daughter Minnie cannot live without chattering. I really believe that in all her life, she has not wasted a minute in silence. Her mother would stop her chatter, but I would not. To see Minnie quiet is unnatural, and I cannot bear it long. One morning, when I was in the midst of 17th chapter of my new novel, my little Minnie stole into the room, and putting her hand into mine, said,
"Father, Ram Dayal, the doorkeeper, calls a crow a crow. He doesn't know anything, does he?"
Before I could explain to her the differences of language in this world, she was started on another subject.
"What do you think, Father? Bhola says there is an elephant in the clouds, blowing water out of his trunk, and that is why it rains."
And then, darting off again, while I sat still making ready some reply to this last saying,
"Father, what relation is mother to you?"
With a grey face, I said, "Go and play with Bhola, Minnie. I'm busy." The window of my room overlooks the road. The children had seated herself at my feet near my table and was playing softly, drumming on her knees. I was hard at work on my 17th chapter, where Pratap Singh, the hero, had just caught Kanchanlata, the heroine, in his arms and was about to escape with her by the 3rd-story window of the castle. When all of a sudden, Minnie left her play and ran to the window, crying,
"A CABULIWALLAH! A CABULIWALLAH!"
Sure enough, in the street below was a CABULIWALLAH, passing slowly along. He wore the loose, soiled clothing of his people, with a tall turban. There was a bag on his back, and he carried boxes of grapes in his hand. My daughter began to call him loudly. I thought, he will come in, and my 17th chapter will never be finished. At which exact moment the CABULIWALLAH turned and looked up at the child. When she saw this, overcome by terror, she fled to her mother. She had a blind belief that inside the bag, which the big man carried, there were perhaps 2 or 3 other children like herself. The peddler meanwhile entered my doorway and greeted me with a smiling face. I made some small purchases. As he was about to leave, he asked, "And where is the little girl, sir?" And I, thinking that Minnie must get rid of her false fare, had her brought out. She stood by my chair and looked at the CABULIWALLAH and his bag. He offered her nuts and raisins, but she would not be tempted and only clung the closer to me. This was their first meeting. One morning, however, not many days later, as I was leaving the house, I was startled to find Minnie seated on a bench near the door, laughing and talking with the great CABULIWALLAH at her feet. In all her life, it appeared, my small daughter had never found so patient a listener like her father. And already the corner of her little sari was stuffed with almonds and raisins, the gift of her visitor. "Why did you give her those?" I said, and taking out an 8-anna bit, I handed it to him. The man accepted the money and slipped it into his pocket. Alas, my return an hour later, I found the CABULIWALLAH had given the money to Minnie, and her mother, catching sight of the bright round object, had pounced on the child with,
"Where did you get that 8-anna bit?"
"The CABULIWALLAH gave it me,"
said Minnie cheerfully. "The CABULIWALLAH gave it to you?" cried her much shocked mother. It was not the first or second time I found that the two had met. The CABULIWALLAH had overcome the child's first terror by a judicious bribery of nuts and almonds, and the two were now great friends. They had many quaint jokes. Minnie would ripple her face with laughter and begin,
"Oh, CABULIWALLAH, CABULIWALLAH, what have you got in your bag?"
And he would reply, "An elephant." Not much cause for merriment, perhaps, but how they both enjoyed the fun.